Hey guys, I'm RiggyRob, and welcome back to Disco Elysium. So, last time we made it across the waterlock, across the bridge, and we started hanging out with a couple of bums who have got some very philosophical ideas, and we also managed to find a rave. So they are in the tent currently, but they want to start a nightclub in the church, and apparently there are people locked in the church and have been locked in there for some time. But there might also be monsters there, we don't know. But yes, we need to know about that. We still also got the other tasks as well, such as opening the door for Everard, asking the scab leader about tattoos, getting the boots. But while we're on this side of Revachol, not Revachol, but rather Martinez, I figured we'd probably carry on doing this stuff. So I actually ended up leaving the conversation with the Ravers a bit abruptly, so let's go back inside. And we'll finish off the conversation there, because I know there's certainly some more stuff to do. Hello.
Hi again. So, how are things going?
Okay, so logic check godly 16. Maybe everything isn't quite as you've been told. Take a moment to analyze. There's an unexplained ether smell, unexplained nose effect, but I'm convinced I'm a smart cop and narcomania is a plague. So we can make this a little bit easier once we get a level up, but logic itself is already a little bit low because of our thoughts. I mean, it is a white check, right? So let's go ahead and try it. If we get it, great. If we don't, whatever.
Well, first of all, you're a smart cop, and a smart cop like you would understand if something wasn't quite right. So this should be easy.
And then there's the narcomania.
Indeed. So one of them came upon the abandoned church. They want to turn it into a club for dance music, but agents of narcomania have overrun it. You shudder to think of all the narco they must have already consumed in there. Narco is bad.
Yeah, sure, narco's bad, you know, we haven't done any of that ourselves, certainly not.
Plus, and it has to be considered, you can't invent the future of dance music in this smelly old tent. Imagine if you had the church. That settles it. Analysis complete. Their story checks out.
Sure.
It still feels as if this didn't quite go as it should have.
But until we come back later, that will remain locked. So nothing else for
As
now
always.
for Andre. But the other guys.
So you had a talk with Andre, and now you want to discuss things with Noid. Good.
Ian shows through the holes in the Speed Freak's too large sweater. In front of him, an open toolbox full of carpentry tools and parts.
It's good you talked to Andre first. Gave me time to get a reading on your sign. Can't really talk to people before you get a reading.
He runs his hand through his hair, which is combed back in mock seriousness, and continues to fiddle with some gears. Now this is interesting. Getting a reading on your sign could obviously be S-I-G-N, like an astrology sign, but because we're reading it in text, it is sign S-I-N-E. But we get to ask about it anyway, so sign.
Yeah, gotta compare. See if we can align.
Interesting. That's ridiculous.
See? Our signs are way off. I can already tell this social relationship is gonna take a lot of work.
But what if I say that's interesting?
I suck at socialising, man. Even now, our sign synchronisation is way off. But I'll see what I can do.
He continues to rearrange his tools. So basically, we want to align with his sign so that we can get a bit more info out of him. Tell me about the machines you saw in the church.
Weird stuff. Specialised. There was a data processor and some sort of long-wave machinery. Wires going into water. Gives off a spy sign. Or some fucked-up Samaran science sign. You know, the kind that goes head first into the supernatural.
The People's Republic of Samara is a product of Revachol's sister revolution on the Grand Acele. It's known as a severely degenerated rogue state.
Don't be too hard on Samara. They're all alone in the world. Half of what we know of them is just propaganda. What's wrong with the supernatural? The supernatural. So you think it's real, that it actually exists? Don't be too hard on Samara. Half of what we know about them is just propaganda.
I know, man. I was just talking about the aesthetic.
What's wrong with the supernatural?
Nothing's wrong with it. You should definitely be researched. You can still do sick shit with it, though.
I'm sure you can. You actually thinking it's real?
Most of it doesn't exist, but there's also stuff that isn't allowed to exist. because the moralists think it's too dangerous for the plebs. Psionic powers, pale-related diseases, pretenders pretending to be human, folk rights, that kind of stuff.
Huh. Most of it doesn't exist, but some of that isn't allowed to exist. But we know the Pale is real because we have the Pale driver and what Joyce told us about the Pale. So Pale-related diseases are definitely a thing. So maybe psionic powers and pretenders pretending to be human are also a thing. But why are you called Noid?
The hardcore aesthetic is esoteric. It's not meant to be discussed with the law at this moment.
He picks up some sort of a widget. I don't understand what that means.
I can see that. Further sign matching would do good for us. One way to achieve sign synchronicity would be by getting us into the church.
And we have a new task to sync the signs with Noid. Alright, maybe I'll come back later. And then...
A young man with peroxide blonde hair holds up a Harman Welshi tape player, nodding along to the music. He looks at you with a knowing smile and says,
Hardcore!
Say nothing, is it? Is it?
It's hardcore!
You're just going to say it's hardcore, aren't you? I don't know what to say to that. He's just going to keep saying it.
Skibbity, skibberdanger. I am the rearranger.
could there have been a right way out of this garden of forking paths, you think?
New task, solve the egghead puzzle. So, it's a puzzle of a labyrinth of his dialogue.
The young man
Okay.
with the tape recorder acknowledges your return. When he looks at you, he squints as though you were the setting sun.
Yeah, with Tequila Sunset.
This is hardcore.
So say nothing,
Hardcore!
Say nothing.
Hardcore to the mega.
say nothing,
Internally coherent.
say nothing,
Encore! All right! Yeah!
say nothing.
He furrows his brow as his very large head traces the sublime invisible movement of the music in the very real air of the stuffy tent.
Hardcore! Ah!
He lets out an agonized roar over the feverish, obviously not too hardcore beat below. So we can say, no but seriously, I'm a little worried it isn't. Or, so hardcore!
Is it though?
He stops dead in his tracks, tilting his head to the side. It is. I was just thinking that a moment ago. So now the roles are reversed. Alright, it is!
But is it? I mean, really?
He tilts his head to the other side like an owl. I was thinking that too. I don't know what to say exactly. I was thinking that too.
I am the mic enforcer. I am the chick's checker. Yeah!
Alright, so that wasn't the right one.
Back to the
But
heavy
I like the idea, so
Hardcore,
nothing,
hardcore,
nothing,
internal
nothing.
encore.
He
Nothing.
furrows his
So
Is it
hardcore. It
But
is.
is it? I mean, really?
I don't know what to say.
Under the radar, over the top.
Alright, so. Alright. So I'll try this a couple more times maybe.
he furrows
Until I'm worried it isn't.
The question is, what is the question?
Just answer the question. That would have been good if I'd asked you the question, but I didn't. Now it's just idiotic. Yeah, let's go with this one.
But there was a question?
Oh, okay, maybe there was. Alright, so let's keep going. Say nothing, say nothing, say nothing, say
he
nothing.
furrows
And then I'm worried
The
it isn't.
question is,
Answer
what
the
is
question.
But there was no question.
Alright, so he just changes what he says depending on what you say. Alright, we'll solve this puzzle later, Egghead. And that's it in the tent. So. Let's leave, shall we? Alright, now that we're back outside, let's make a save. Okay, so let's go and talk to the lady that's outside.
a shaggy-looking girl in her late teens or early 20s kneels on the ice with an electronic contraption in her hand. Hearing you approach, she looks up.
So this is Acele.
Oh, hello there.
She must be Acele, the last of the speed freaks posse. Everyone knows drugs make you invulnerable to cold. You bet this one likes to party.
You must be Acele. Dear child, it's freezing. Where's your hat? So you want a party? Or I have some questions for you. You must be Acele.
That's my name. I take it you have met the others. Did they tell you about the church and the club thing?
They did? Church? What church? No, they did.
Will you help us?
I'll help you, alright.
Great. Let us know if there's any progress, will ya? We've been waiting for weeks here.
Dear child, it's freezing. Where's your hat?
Huh?
Maybe she didn't hear you. A little louder.
I said you should have a hat on.
So should you.
I have a hat on. That's a really strange thing to say to someone that's wearing a hat.
You don't have to do anything.
I don't have to do anything. I am the law. You have to do what the law says. I should and I do point at your hat, or we're done here. Toho. Yeah, this is too aggressive. I do have a hat on.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
It's nice. You should wear one too if you plan on staying outside in this weather. Now that's all cleared up, I have some questions for you, or we're done here. You should wear one too.
Yeah, well... Look, man, fuck the hat.
What's wrong with the hat? It's a nice hat.
Your pulse rises.
Ooh. Regain authority in her eyes is a heroic 15 check. It's a red check, it cannot be retried. I mean... There is no way I am passing this check. Unless I get the double 6. It's not going to happen though. But if it's a check that can't be retried anyway, then there's no really downside to trying it. So let's try it. Regain authority. And this will not work.
Lots of feeling. Feel it up. Way up.
Oh my god, fuck the hat? Is that what you just said to me? I can't believe you told me to fuck the hat.
You're saying it really loud, but it's not coming out right. Maybe add more indignation.
So I should just take this hat I'm wearing and fuck it, right? Point at your head where the hat is located. Engage in sexual intercourse with a hat right here in front of you because you told me so on the sea ice?
More.
Right here on the sea ice?
More.
Give you a little ice cop hat fuck show? Puff your cheeks as if you can't even breathe from the sheer indignity of the affront.
I didn't mean to. I'm sorry.
The girl is visibly shaken.
The lieutenant is watching the scene unfold before his eyes, unsure how to react.
To be fair, not many people would. Start jumping up and down the sea ice, gesturing towards it with both hands as if to say, this is where it was supposed to take place.
The girl looks down, slowly curling into a ball.
Start crying, or anyway, I can't believe you used obscenities like that in front of a police officer, and you should.
The words are stuck in your throat. All that comes out is tears pouring down your face. The young woman has kept her eyes trained on her wires, waiting for the lecture to end. But now she hears sobbing.
So I wanted to not cry, and he cried anyway, because we failed the check.
Looking up, she sees a grown man on the wrong side of 40, his face bloated from alcohol, and God knows what else. Not so quietly, crying.
This isn't really about the hat, is it?
No, it is. It so is. Wipe away the tears, and you should wear a hat. That's it. That's what I wanted to say. Yeah, let's do that. You should wear a hat. That's what I wanted to say.
I swear to God, I will always wear a hat from now on.
Would it be alright if I asked you some questions now?
You know, you're not the only one with issues. I self-medicate. Shit. Life's a horror, you know?
There's a motherly hint to her voice.
Crying helps, though. Get it out your system, and then maybe we can talk, okay? I'll be here.
Well, I just did get it out of my system. Oh, I've got an option to talk to Kim. Alright, before we talk to Kim, let's save the game. I have a feeling Kim's going to have some very choice words about that reaction then. Kim, do you have something to say? Having looked away during the final phase of your little episode, the lieutenant now addresses you.
Do you want to talk about what just happened?
That's probably a good idea.
Normally, I'm opposed to discussing one's feelings, especially on duty. But I think this is an exceptional case.
Yeah, having a tantrum with your partner is a bit weird, isn't it?
So, what do you think happened?
I had a breakdown.
'Tis possible thou couldst persuade the lieutenant 'twas all a part of thy unorthodox method. But can thou persuade thyself?
Interesting. So it was a crygasm, I experienced a minor malfunction. I'm okay now. Convince yourself that you didn't melt down just now. An even check, it's a red check. It can't be retried. Now, because it's a red check, I don't think I'll be able to leave the conversation and then try it. Drama at 4 is not that low. The problem is that I'm wearing something that is taking away from it. So it would be higher if I didn't have that piece on, but, you know, it's 42%. It's not that low. So let's give it a try.
Believe it thyself, my liege. 'Twas all a clever ruse.
Don't worry, Kim. It was all a ruse. Wink at Kim.
Yes, a clever ruse. I see.
You don't, but you will. Or, right, I mean, who cries in public like for real? Oh no, people do that. You don't see it now, but you will.
Even so, in the future, could you please refrain from emoting too much on duty? The quasi-legal status of the RCM means we need to project strength twice as consistently as any other police force in the world.
Okay, I'll control my emotions, or weakness is strength. To be fair, there's nothing wrong with emoting every now and then. It depends on who you're emoting to or with. So I'm going to say no. Showing weakness is strength.
Not when projecting strength. Then it's just weakness.
Sounds like typical macho bullshit to me, or okay, then it isn't strength, you're right. No, typical macho bullshit.
That may be so, but such is Revachol, and this is what is expected of us in Revachol.
Yeah, but to be fair, you've got a gun, so, you know, just pull that out.
Glad to hear it was minor. Can you go on?
Yes, it is my duty after all. Absolutely, superstars always get back up and try again. The end is near anyway, I might as well see this through. I can, and I'm sorry, Kim, I promise this is the last time. Superstars always get back up and try again.
Then, let's go.
Yeah. Alright, and then?
As you turn, a bright light catches your eye, making you squint.
Ooh, where's it coming from?
From a distant sunset, a stage light, flash photography, nowhere in particular. It's just what superstar law officers do. They squint at lights, and they solve shit.
Actually, now that I hear superstar and law official in a sentence, they sound weird together. Or, yeah, that's me, I've been establishing my superstardom hard lately. To be fair, as I've been playing through the game and learning more about Harry Dubois as a detective, he actually does seem more and more like a superstar cop. And that is also partially what set off the drunken tirade when we first arrived. Because he's obviously feeling, you know, a bit arrogant. So, yeah, I'm establishing my superstardom.
Yeah, you have. You're a big dick cop. Dick Mullen. Salam Rocky Bai. Badass on-the-edge disco cop. Time to recede into a ludicrous fantasy world. Here we go. Camera. Lights.
Action!
With a sudden flash, the world freezes around you. And you along with it. In an iconic monochrome solution, a black silhouette against a rasterized orange world. It's on.
It's on. Alright, so we gained a thought. So the thought itself is some kind of superstar. So it takes away 2 logic, still seems kind of unlikely. First, let's make this absolutely clear. No one is saying you're an actual superstar in the groupies and cocaine riddled with hepatitis C strikes a lion-esque pose with a mic kind of way. You're not Guillaume Millon or David Dewey, no. You're a metaphorical superstar. You bring that rock and roll authenticity and passion to a line of work where people don't expect or want to see it, where some would say it doesn't belong. Law enforcement. Because this takes away 2 logic, I hope the bonus is pretty good. But it's the same issue I've got before, is where do I take thoughts away? Like, I can't take magnesium lifeform away because having morale is important, and I'm healing it back with the conceptualization thought. Maybe one like Aces High. +1 empathy to Kim isn't much, and +1 esprit de corps is also not fantastic. I mean, it's at 4 now, but I mean, I can get that from the clothes. But yeah, I've got 1 from an item, 1 from skill, 1 from thought. So, yeah, you know, I can probably take away Aces High eventually. Jamais vu is very good, so I'm going to keep that on. Regular law official, again, I'm not entirely sure how that works. That's a contender to take away, but it seems to be working differently to what I think it should be doing. Kingdom of Conscious, again, this is useful if I ever have a moralist dialogue option to heal morale. Indirect modes of taxation would be good for money. Actual art degree is incredible. I'm keeping that on. And then the Jamrock Shuffle. Again, I don't know how many containers we're going to see. So if I were to try and get some kind of superstar internalized, I would probably take away Ace's Hub. Okay, let's make another save since we had that little aside. Save game limit reached. Delete a previous save to continue saving progress. Okay. How many saves do I have? Let's see. I suppose I do have quite a few, don't I? Is there a quicker way to like scroll all the way to the bottom? No, there isn't, is there? Alright, well... I suppose they can't have infinite numbers of saves, but yeah. Alright, well... We'll just have to keep... Oh wow, that's when I first started playing. We'll have to start overwriting saves now. If I press X, does that overwrite it? Reuse bits and replace the contents of the save game titled on day 1. Yes. Alright, let's try talking to Acele again.
So, like, seriously, what's eating you, man?
Her hair is dyed blonde, with dark roots showing, and she wears thick black eyeliner. Most men wouldn't call her pretty. There is a manliness to her, a coarseness.
Yeah, can we talk for a minute? The others told me you went inside the church. What did you see there? I'd like to know more about your associates. What's that device? What are you doing out of the cold? Actually, that's it for now. Yeah, can we talk for a minute?
I was wondering when you would come around. What's up?
I guess there's something that's been making my life hell.
What is it?
I think it's the plight of the working class. Everyone's just mooching off the entrepreneurial class, shackling the doers. I think it's all these foreign people taking our jobs. People just keep putting their selfish interests ahead of the greater good. I mean, well, the plight of the working class and selfish interests ahead of each other is kind of the same thing, isn't it? I'm going to say the working class one, but I'd prefer to... I'm going to say this one.
Oh, really?
The golem of capital runs rampant, smashing creator and slave alike. I fear the process is irreversible.
So the thing that's got you crying in front of strangers is social justice?
I haven't seen much of this world, but from what I've seen, social justice is an adolescent term. Sounds almost liberal. What's got me shaken up is the people's struggle, and it's got me shaken up bad. No, that's probably not it, is it? Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I had some questions about something else entirely. It's the people's struggle that's the problem.
Yeah, man. They're pretty bad.
He says without much conviction. It makes me sick thinking about the thousands, millions, billions... How many people are there, actually? To be fair, I don't actually know this, because, again, real-world concept would be 7 billion, but that might be true here. How many people are there in the world?
3.6 billion, not counting those in sale.
Really? That many? Reduces me to tears thinking of the 3.6 billion and God knows how many more in that Seoul place crushed under the tyranny of the market.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. Are you sure you're not just hung up on some chick, though?
Now that you mention it, I found these letters I'd thrown in the trash. They might have something to do with it. Or I'm positive. Now I had some questions for you before this all started. It might be something to do with the ex-wife, let's say.
Okay. Why'd you think that?
First, they had just the faintest sense of chewing gum on them. I could still smell it under the shit. They were written in a woman's hand, and oh boy, did reading them not make me feel good. And to hell with this, questions I have them, you have answers. I think it's the fact that they were written by a woman, and reading them did not make me feel good.
There you have it then, chick trouble. Not political after all. Who was she?
I don't remember.
Really? You seem to be pretty upset about this chica. Are you sure you don't remember anything about her?
I remember a sense, and that's all.
Wow, man. That's some pretty strange shit. Are you sure the letters were for you?
Yes, I'm sure. Why would I have reacted so strongly otherwise? Or, come to think of it, the whore could have written them to her lover. No, they were written for me. That's why it's a strong reaction.
How come you don't remember, though? Is it like some selective memory thing?
Wait, what do you mean by selective memory? I think it's more about me getting so unbelievably drunk I completely erased all memory of this world. You might have a point there, selective memory. What do you mean by selective memory?
Man, when I get hurt, I just want to forget that shit, you know? That kind of selective memory.
But it was probably me getting drunk.
Yeah, or it might be that. This one time I did so much booze that I forgot too.
It's obvious she's done more than booze.
So much booze.
Or it might just be some psych bullshit, you know? Königstein wank.
What is this Königstein wank?
You know, the psych thing they've got going on there. Rich people like it. People in Königstein are mostly rich.
Thanks for the bullshit psych thing then. You know, I'm not sure this made things any better. I had some questions for you. I mean, is this blaming her for it? I don't want to blame her for it. And this didn't make anything better. And again, that's kind of like pushing the onus on her. I'll say the first one, but I'm not sure about that.
You're welcome. Might be for the best to keep that shit forgotten though. Just my opinion. If it itches, don't scratch.
But it's so satisfying to scratch though. We got some XP.
Yes, but it itches really, really bad.
The others told me you went inside the church. What did you see in there?
Oh, that. You're not going to believe me. There's no point in me telling you.
I'll believe it.
She's less prone to blurt it out, Crab Man, than the others.
We'll see. Go ahead and tell me.
Okay. I went in and I saw a woman next to one of those machines there. Noid calls it a mainframe. She was dressed like someone who's been raised by their grandmother, you know, strange old clothes. Had this absent expression, didn't say anything, just stood still.
Okay, go on.
And then, you know, right behind her, a man crawled down the wall, upside down like a crab, down the church wall. I think the woman didn't even know he was there. He was completely silent.
So she is referring to a crab man.
He stopped right before he got to the floor, then just hung there like that, looking at me. Right at me. I fucking turned around and walked out. End of story.
I mean, that's a pretty fair reaction to take.
Like a crab, you say?
The lieutenant nods, his face is stone. What did this crab man look like?
It was too dark. I couldn't tell exactly.
Come on, she obviously could. She already went into detail.
Come on, quit stalling on me. What did it look like? You were right, I don't believe you. You were wrong, I do believe you. Come on. What did it look like?
He looked like a banger, okay? He was all muscular and stuff. Had a mesh tank top. I know it sounds ridiculous, but that only made it scarier in a way.
I wonder who we know would be wearing mesh tank top and being muscular.
A crab and a banger?
The lieutenant raises an eyebrow.
Yes, a banger. As in a mess gang member. I know what it sounds like, but that's what I saw.
A gangster crab man? Yeah, I don't believe you. You are wrong, I do believe you.
Why?
Seems too ludicrous for a lie. What would you stand to gain? Strange things happen. I mean, yeah, what would she stand to gain from lying to me?
Nothing. Anyway, what else?
You got some XP. I'd like to know more about your associates.
My associates? I haven't got much to say about them.
What do you mean? You must know something about them.
Of course I do. I just don't tell people about my friends and who they are and so on. I don't provide information on them.
Are you not a snitch?
To the cops.
What about you? Tell me about something about yourself. Aha, okay, maybe I'll ask later about this. Tell me about yourself.
Me? I'm a silver bird.
Ooh, we got some more experience and we got a skill point. Aha, okay, maybe I'll ask later about this.
Don't know what makes you think it'll be any different later, but...
Get Acele to talk to her associates.